That's it.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Art on the Rocks, Creativity Unfiltered. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kathy, and we want to welcome Ron Salamanca here to our podcast and to the gallery today. And we're just doing things on the fly today because
we've had an energy day that's unbelievable.
So what's happening in town in Myrtle Beach that starts tonight is called, we all know it, it's CCMF.
CCMF, Carolina Country Music Festival.
So tonight is going to be Luke Bryan.
No, that's tomorrow. Luke is tomorrow. Tonight.
Riley Green.
Riley Green.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Blake Shelton and then Post Malone. So the entire town is a Twitter, literally. So Ron came in and we said, "Ooh, we need to interview you." And first of all, I wanted to say for everybody that's out there, what are you drinking? Do you have your water?
Everyone knows that normally we would have a cocktail in hand, but it is literally afternoon. It's a spontaneous recording because Ron came in and we said, perfect opportunity. So cheers to y'all who are already starting for the CCMF. Be careful, be safe, and don't be hungover for tomorrow's show.
Anyway, so Ron, what caught our eyes and the reason why we asked you if we could talk to you this afternoon, and also you'll see the dogs kind of walking around, so this is really spontaneous, is you came in and you said, I love collecting art.
Correct.
What got you into it? Why? And what catches your eyes?
Do you want the full story?
Sure.
How my first actual piece?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So I've always was intrigued of like people's imagination and creativity, like I was mentioning earlier. And especially me, I'm not able to draw. I'm not the greatest drawer ever. So, you always want to lean into somebody's like, not just profession, but somebody's like unique talent.
Yeah.
And one thing that approached me was it was in Fort Lauderdale. I live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm from Miami. And it was a gun show where they typically have a gun show in this park where I live. And the artist, which is from Tampa Bay, his name is Michael Kulik. He was supposed to be inside where they showcase, the guns, whatever they do inside. But they had him outside, which is like where mostly people are able to see him. But at the same time, people are just waiting to go inside. Okay. To make a long story short, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I'm able to contribute to this guy, see if anything draws my attention, not just for me, for my family members, maybe as a gift, a friend, whatever it might pertain to. So sure enough, I saw something that drew my attention. It was, growing up, I'm a Super Mario person. So the video game. So he had one of the bombs and one of the bullets and acrylic. And it was very, very, very great job, like huge. I want to say about 24 by 18s, both of them. Typically he would sell them for 100 each because they are originals. But he was struggling to make any sale whatsoever. He was already 3 hours in. And I was like, you know what? Let me go get some cash. I literally walked back home. He gave me 3 for 100.
Wow.
So just because I felt bad because, he's down making something, but he typically sells those for 100. So it just meant a lot more for me because I know he put in a lot of work, a lot of hours into that, a lot of intricacity. And I just felt like I needed support. So ever since then, I've always had like little knits and knats, like little artistic pieces here and there that like, like the homeless people make with like the banana stuff. Little things like that always remember because that's still talent. And always to like help other people at the same time. You always want to support because people, sometimes they lack that extra push or they doubt themselves about, is this my real passion? Is this the way to go? So you always want to at least kind of like, even if you're not going to purchase anything, show them that like they do have some talent because it means a lot to them.
Oh, absolutely.
So ever since like he was so grateful about that purchase and that, and like I saw that in him. So ever since then, I just literally started like here and there picking pieces, like what kind of pertained to me. And so sure enough, it's just a huge blossom.
What draws your eye to something that says, I want this in my home?
Right.
This is to help all of our artists to say, I mean, there's going to be a different perspective from everybody.
Correct.
But what draws your eye?
Uniqueness. Just me, like something that I've never seen kind of before, which is kind of hard nowadays, but also something that couldn't have been digital created either. Like what I mean, like with AI nowadays, you can easily say something and it creates it for you. Yeah. So that kind of has the gist of certain art pieces that you kind of can see. And that takes it away from the actual imagination of the artist because you don't know, you're kind of down yourself like, did this person actually create this, or did he just copy and paste in a sort of way
It
where
makes
you
it
saw
harder for a real artist to actually, because
correct.
like we grew up in a generation of saying like we had to go outside and use our imagination.
Yeah,
to have fun,
100%. You
to
didn't have
play,
internet
to
either.
play,
Yeah, correct.
you know, and like now it's the same thing. Like the kids today are going, how much of an imagination do they actually have by just talking to this? And it helps their imagination instead of doing it freely on their own.
Correct. And living in Miami, so people are familiar with like the big art industry. There's this event that's happens in Miami called Art Basel.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
So I'm typically working that event, but I always get the passes to like the Museum of Graffiti, Windmill Walls, like that. But we're so spoiled as far as like I was mentioning earlier, the lack of murals that Myrtle Beach has, and how many like literally you turn your head in Miami, you see somebody different, and that's how you kind of involve yourself into that art culture as well, because without knowing what you see, without knowing the artist, how are you going to get yourself involved into art?
Exactly.
So Downtown Alliance, just to throw this out to you guys, just from someone who's coming from a different state that actually is very colorful and very vibrant and has that art scene, just to kind of throw out to them, like hint, hint, we need to get more and actually put that on the map in the buildings.
I know they're working on some grants for some public art type of pieces. Yes. I know that the Grand Strand law firm just down the street from here, there's a beautiful mural on the side of the wall.
That's what
there are pieces that are smattered around. I mean, the bright, colorful one on Nance Plaza, right across from CCMF. It's really the public art is so important, and it really it revitalizes, it vitalizes, it energizes with all of that stuff.
Well, especially with like people like myself in a sort of way like that don't have many days or hours to actually explore the city. Murals in itself, and that's for the city. It explains how the city is, you know, like how the people are. A lot of murals are just exemplary of something what the city goes through, what their culture is, so many things, what they're known for, animals, nature, so many things. So with you just passing by in a car, you can kind of at least
Very quickly
see certain things without getting out of the car, and you know, correct. You kind of understand what the culture is of that town or city or whatever you're visiting, and that gives it more of a better feel. I think like art murals are always needed everywhere, because not only is it you're showcasing a local artist, you're giving them an extra life per se, as I was saying to you. Like some people lose their passion. If you give a mural to, let's say, 3 artists that I won't say they're struggling, but they're losing their passion, right there and then they're going to start creating more things for the town. Not just that, the town itself will win, because they'll put in more effort into the cleanliness of the town. I've seen that a lot. Like, correct, it happens a lot. Like so many things, or catering to the children in certain schools, like certain what we. So I work for this. I haven't been doing it this year much often, but it's AOTA. It's called Avenue of the Arts Festival in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
And what we tend to do, we go knock in certain businesses doors and see if they want a wall being displayed by a mural. Cool. What we kind of focused more this year was elementary schools, middle schools, and teach children at the same time. Not because it was more graffiti related, but graffiti is a great form of art. Beautiful. So it was teaching people how to, like kids, how to spray paint, because it takes a certain vigorously like shaped and can, or the way you want to portray a certain line. It depends how you
nozzles on there, whether it's so it's not just
the wind, the rain, the sun, so many variables that might affect someone from taking the time to learn how to paint, and they might just give up because no one was ever there to teach them exactly how to handle something like a tool like that. So that's why I always like looking for art murals in town, because like I said, it explains how that town, their culture is, and especially if you're not here for that long and interact with people, that's a great example to show.
So the city of Conway, part of Horry County. If you go just to
it's a little northwest, correct? North, correct.
They have murals everywhere.
Oh, I wish I was just there too.
So it's only about a half-hour drive. If you're here all weekend, if you can escape.
I have a friend that's staying there camping because
Okay.
Shard Oaks, something Oaks.
Yep.
Yes.
Crooked Oak.
Crooked Oaks. There you go. Crooked Oaks.
Okay.
Beautiful little campsite.
It's right by CCU.
So correct. So by Eastern and Coastal Carolina,
Yep.
I saw a mural closer to the Chanticleers. I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's like that gave me kind. But then heading this way, I was like, wait, I don't see anything. So
It is as Conway will tell you
excuse me.
all of the holidays. They're known as the city of Halloween and the Christmas town.
City holidays. So they're actually downtown. They're in the middle of a revitalization right now.
Okay.
So they're actually, you can see that they're extending 501. They've knocked down buildings. So we're in a regenerative, not a word I can say very well, regenerative type situation right now. So bringing in that art, bringing
Like a rebuilding process.
Right.
yeah. So we're hoping that we can get some more murals, get some more artists who want to get involved and beautify. Like you said, I think that's like it's all the difference in the world in your culture.
Yeah, and what helps also is like it doesn't particularly. I always aim for local artists to have obviously because they've been here for so long or they grew up here or generations. But one particular artist that kind of will, how do I say it? How like there's certain artists that does complement a certain city and area of how they paint. So like especially like one of the bigger names, if you bring one of those, I'm sure the city will kind of more, which is unfortunate because I think the local artists should be the ones that they should focus on.
Totally.
But usually one big name like Shepard Fairey, which he's very big on like nature and against totalitarianism. Yeah, correct.
So tell us a little bit about your collection and what type of things that you have, like just like I said, for helping our artists going. You can't target everyone, but like when you find a true collector to keep your uniqueness, tell us a little bit about what your collection looks like.
All right, so when my story about how I started collecting in a sort with Michael Kulik, which technically is kind of a local artist. Okay, because he's from Tampa Bay. It's a few hours north. But what I like to focus on is again to uniqueness, but I do like things that are against hurting nature, hurting people, or things that are different as far as sculptures. I like sculptures a lot as well, or vinyl toys, something that actually explains how we should, as us as humans, treat each other better.
Okay.
Like a Shepard Fairey, which is the Obey. People call him the Obey guy. So Shepard Fairey, huge. He's been at it for quite 40. He's been going on for a while. Shepard Fairey, like World Halls as well. Something that people just went out to do because they just felt like doing. Like a Keith Haring, like Subway, like something different. They decided to paint Subway like down in the subs in New York and just show, and people would stop because it was made out of charcoal. Little things like that that catches your attention, especially as long as you're not being a vandal either. There's different ways of expressing your art. But at the same time, by all means, I'm not condoning it, but you gotta showcase somehow. You gotta break certain rules and laws in order to showcase your passion and your art. Which is the Banksy, which he just recently revealed who he really was. From what it actually was, they were a group of people, but there was a particular one that utilized the name Banksy. So look, one thing about that is that if the not knowing who he was is a little bit better, just because
We have some mystery to it.
correct, yeah, you just didn't know what he was gonna do next because that was the whole I can't get the word out. The mystery of it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
of course,
saying? I
of course.
love the mystery of it. Like, where they come from? How did you get your idea? Now I see it's against government and
Excuse me.
something against, corruption. And I love because without a voice, we're gonna stay hidden behind closed doors.
So you just missed one of the biggest competitions here in South Carolina, or technically
The
Art Fields.
Art Fields. So Art Fields is held in Lake City, South Carolina. It's about an hour and a half from here. I've been a competition artist in it for 2 years in a row, and it has some of the most moving and controversial, exquisite. I mean, you name it. Those types of pieces. You want murals? They're everywhere. What was started by Darla Moore, and who was a philanthropist and businesswoman, in South Carolina, and particularly Lake City was where she grew up. And she literally said, this is a dying town. It was a railroad town. Railroad came through. There was tobacco and other farming, and there was just nothing. And she literally built 13 years later.
It is now
It
massive.
is massive. It is a 10-day celebration
Oh,
of
wow.
art,
Nice.
and all of the shops
Turned into an art town.
It's you want to talk about murals? Murals are everywhere.
Good. Just getting back to
And
like
that's what
helping revitalize a town.
and that's what this area is doing. So this area in where that our gallery is in is called the Arts and Innovation District. And that was literally, it was started because this was a dying part of the town and the city. And what they've done is slowly but surely people were buying up the buildings, the old ones, or renting them out. And business owners like us were cleaning things up, and we're revitalizing. We're bringing art in. That we now have 3 art galleries, and here we've got Gallery 320, which is part of the Waccamaw Arts and Crafts Guild. You've got the William Miller Studio in Fine Arts, and us. And Market Common is also the Seacoast Artist Gallery.
Okay.
But it is I totally agree with you. The arts. Totally.
So I'm going to ask Ron, I'm going to get off subject. What actually brought you to our little area?
Oh,
The Carolina Country Music Cup, but you're a visitor, which you're actually a part of this. So you got brought in, you had said, instead of doing one of the other festivals, you came in to actually work at the CCMF.
yeah, just because for the reason of like, I'm a foodie as well. So I usually correlate food with art. Just because to me, food is also a very artistic thing. Like
Oh, yeah.
it takes a lot of chefs to actually create it.
Okay.
I know it's okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I like to correlate those two together. So when I heard Myrtle Beach, I just really thought it would be more of a artistic and colorful town. Food, for sure. I've definitely taken part in some great restaurants in town.
Yeah.
But like I said, like what I always want to go to galleries and art museums. I don't see any art museums close by.
Is.
But
It's a little bit further south.
okay, so I mean, like in this little typical area, so I always take advantage of sculptures and art museums that come to visit. But when I saw the 3 little galleries over here, I was like, I have to go check it out.
And we appreciate that.
No, of course you have to. Everybody's like back to everybody's imagination being different. You never know what could have caught my eye too and taken with me.
We're in a little bit of a makeover.
Excuse me.
Do you want me to get you some water or something?
No, I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine. Thank you very much.
We've got Phil Duell is going to be doing a photo show starting tomorrow, or technically tonight, I guess. Kind of we're at thing. But so that's happening. We've got the first Friday happening starting tomorrow. A whole lot of things coming to town. So we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We usually look a lot more like organized and like.
Hey, that means you're getting something done. If it looked the same, then I'd be a little worried.
In the door today, and so like 2 new artists,
Cool.
artists.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're growing leaps and bounds. We love someone like you being a collector, and brings us hope for all of our artists having collections being looked at with them.
No,
So if there's one piece of advice that we could give to our artists, if they are looking for, to attract collectors, what should you do?
honestly, just be yourselves. Like, just utilize that. Everybody's got their unique talent and, of course, an imagination, but utilize that as a power tool. Like, don't hide it. People want to see it. I want to see it. Not particularly, that might be my area of art, but I admire every type of art. Like, same thing as music. I don't particularly love certain type of genre of music, but I can see why people like it. There are talented people out there. So don't hire it just because one person didn't like it. It would be weird if everybody liked everything. It would be really unusual. Sorry, not weird. It'd be very unusual. So just because one person didn't like it, keep going. Maybe they didn't like it because they're jealous. Envious ear, jealous eyes. That's what I like to tell people also. Don't let it stop you. Just keep on pushing, and I'm sure you'll get to where you got to if you just utilize those tools the proper way.
We love it.
That's fabulous. I love it.
So spoken right from the word from the collector. So everybody, like, keep faith in yourself, keep moving, keep your brushes, your pencils, and your creativity going. And we're here to support you.
Lots of cameras too.
Yeah, there you go. I always forget about that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Behind the lens.
Yeah, photographers too. No, photographers too. Yeah. No, it's gorgeous.
His work is based in photography.
And that's all local. It's all the local art. So all the local boats and stuff down in Georgetown. So Ron, thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We know you gotta get to work.
Yeah, come see me. I see.
There you go. So
I'll be there tonight.
Cool. All right.
Sure.
I'll let you know where I'm at.
absolutely. So look for her over at CCMF. We want everybody to follow us on YouTube,
please.
Where you can follow it at Art on the Rocks. You can also find us at visionartsgallery.com. That is our website. Interested in classes or particular art, feel free to reach out to us via the website and or message us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you can find us. We were going to get.
Well, cheers, y'all. We're pretending we got.
Cheers, there you go.
We'll see y'all soon.
All right, see you soon.